Hey, service host, in a coming up week, you're going to be leading our congregation as we enter into the weekend gathering and giving an announcement. So I've put together a video that I would love you to watch and think about to make your service hosting the best that it can be and leading us well in our time together. We want to give you some tips in how to do this well because the way that our service starts really sets the tone for the rest of the experience. And so the words that we want to draw your attention to in terms of how you think of how you're communicating, what you're communicating, is clarity, passion, engagement, and authenticity. And so here are a few tips to do that well. Number one, again, as you start the service, the way that you set the tone for the service is really going to launch us into everything that we're doing. You're not just there to communicate information. Actually, information is one of the last and least of important things that you're doing. But the way that you present and start the service allows people to understand what this time is all about and what even your announcement is about. And so tip number one is to start with something that's conversational. So the time goes down, it goes to zero, the lights come up. Something like, hey guys, how are you doing this morning? Hey, were any of you at the cookout last week? How many of you were involved in a community group? Are you looking forward to the service today? Something that asks a question that gets a response from the audience. And sometimes, it's a little chaotic here, and so you can make a joke, oh, nobody's excited about this weekend. Nobody's ready here to worship. Whatever your question is, or, yeah, wasn't it great? Have some interaction to make sure that it's conversational. This will also kind of ease that nervousness that you might be feeling, but get a conversational engagement with the audience. Think of a question to ask, and if that question can be something that's related to the announcement you're making, for instance, if the announcement is something about Africa interest meeting. Hey, do we have anybody here that has ever been to Africa before? Oh, great. How was your experience? Yeah, okay, good. Or anybody been on one of our mission trips before? No? Nobody? Oh, man. Well, I hope that next year a lot more of you can say that. So again, conversational and engaging your audience right away. Remember that as you communicate, what you say is important, but how you say it is actually even more important, because you're probably going to say what you need to say. We're going to give you the information, but how you say it is critical. And so this is where the ideas of passion and eagerness come out. Passion. Here's what I want you to think about. Out of all the things they could do, you want to communicate that you personally want them to be at the event that you're going to announce. Again, we live in a world of distractions and chaos, but the leadership and the leads of these teams have created these events not because, hey, here's something else you could do, not because here's like if you want to, but we do them because we think that they're going to help grow their faith, they're going to connect them. And so we must communicate with a passion. So this might look like for RL Serve. Church, I'm so glad you're here this morning. How are you all doing? Great. Well, we have got an opportunity coming up that allows us to live into one of our callings. If you can tie it into a calling, that's always good, of being a servant. And Christ has called us to be a servant. And man, it's so awesome when we get to serve the community around us. God's doing a lot of good work in real life, and we want to spill that out to the community around us. And we have RL Serve coming up. It's not just RL Serve's coming up, and it's a great opportunity to serve those around us. That doesn't communicate passion. Passion for what you're talking about. With that, eagerness for the audience, eagerness for the church to participate. We plan things at Real Life to help people engage more deeply in their faith. And again, we believe that this event is the best use of their time. And you want to communicate that as well. I know that you might all be busy. I know that you have things going on, but you're going to want to be part of RL Serve because I want you there, because the church wants you, but because this is an opportunity to show the world Christ's love. This is an opportunity for the resources that God has blessed us with to lavish on the community. And so communicating with an eagerness for them to be there. So passion and eagerness. Remember, how you communicate is important. How you communicate is important. We're not just getting information out. And lastly, clarity. People will forget all the details from a verbal announcement, so they aren't needed. You know, RL Serve starts at 9 o'clock, so be here at 8:30. No. And we're going to give you that information. But the clarity of why they should be at the event and the brief understanding of what it is. RL Serve is a corporate expression where we all join together to serve the community. And why? Because we're called to be servants, because we want to show the love of Christ. Passion, eagerness, and clarity. Lastly, because of different personalities, for me, I'm just a passionate person, so each one of these comes easy, is we want it to be authentic. We don't want to fake passion. We don't want to fake eagerness. Like, hey guys, you should be there. And people are like, they don't really believe it. So here's if you're a less passionate person, would you pray that God would give you a passion in how you communicate? And if you're communicating something that kind of is not typically something that you would be passionate about, maybe you don't have kids and you're announcing kids ministry event, find out from the leader what is their passion. And you might even say something like, hey, I've talked to the kids ministry leaders about it, and they are so eager for your kids to be here because this event is going to allow them to build relationships. And so you might not even be like, oh, I'm so passionate, I'm so eager about this. But you know the leader's passion, you believe in the reason why they're doing it. And so it's communicating passion and eagerness on their behalf. Always end with, and you can find information on the app or in the bulletin, because that is the comprehensive understanding of opportunity for them to get details, to find out more. That call to action, that single call to action, is where they're going to find more details. And so pointing them to go to the bulletin that hopefully you have in your hand, or the app to sign up and get more information. So there's a few tips on how to intro our service. Do so with passion, do so with eagerness, do so with clarity, in an authentic way, engaging the audience. This will really allow the best communication of the event that you're talking about, as well as it will start off our service in a way that has people leaning in, not just, hey, here's the beginning of our service to get through some announcements, but because we have put these things together so that they can engage more deeply in the callings, in growing closer to Jesus and one another, and ultimately in living Jesus greater than everything.